So behind me is an Aventador SBJ. So it's my first time actually seeing one, and I drove it a little bit earlier. So I have the key to it. So this car is bought from Pagani Beverly Hills. So basically SBJ is the upgraded version of the SV. So you're gonna have your ALA or ALA 2.0. So it's the active aero DRS. So you can see here, there's that scoop. So essentially the air goes through and it exits out from here. So you can see the wing's kind of a different design. It's not really a GT styled wing. And then differences between like a regular older Aventador. Aventador S's have this option as well. So you can see this vent is already just has a hole in it. Because the original Aventador had a flap that opened, so kind of like the Mercy, but when it's open it's pretty ugly. And so you can see the whole rear is completely different. You only have that small glass that you can see the engine through. But Aventadors have, or SVJs have this aero catch. So it's an aero catch lock basically. So if you want to steal an SVJ owner's hatch, you just pop that down, pop it open. So race car shit. So you're buying a $600,000 car and you're getting some aero catch that you can buy. I don't know if it's made by aero catch, but it's the same design, $100. Everything else is, it's slightly different. Side skirts, all the aero setup. And then you have your carbon ceramics and your center lock wheels specific to the SVJ. Obviously, you'll see that the exhaust here is different. So it's going to be the one from I think it's custom straight pipe done by RDB LA. And then so this car is in a kind of a matte white. So one part of the SVJ that I don't necessarily like is these two vents here. Obviously it's for aero, it's functional, but I think it looks like a pig. So that's just me. I drive a Honda, what do I know? And then more details on the front splitter is that you can see this. Obviously there's some small canards there. And then you see this carbon fiber piece. So everything's fairly aerodynamic. So this car is known as the Queen of the Nürburgring. And then your carbon fiber mirror caps. This piece is carbon fiber. So there are a lot of options. So when buying a Lamborghini brand new, you can spec it out to have carbon or not carbon. And then moving on to the interior. So differences between this and regular Aventador is that there's going to be no glove compartment, no glove box compartment, and there's also going to be no compartment in the back here, which there usually is. Steering wheel, basically the same, so just different material. And then this part here is going to be carbon fiber door panels here with the strap, and then little carbon piece here. So there's quite a bit of carbon on the car overall. And then you have your SVJ logo here. So this one is painted on. It is not a sticker. Although you can have it as a sticker or painted on. It's up to you when you're ordering the car, which I don't know if you can actually order the car brand new anymore. So now moving into the interior. So obviously there's this protective thing, but it is carbon down here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Carbon on the center console. And then obviously when you pop on the dash here, it's going to be, wait until it pops up. So it's going to be different compared to your regular Aventador. It's not that the circle thing. It's all digital now. And then in Aventador S's and later model years, you're going to have an eco mode on this switch here. So Strada, Street, Sport, Corsa, and then Eco. Most of the times on the street it's the best to drive in Sport, but I drive it in Corsa sometimes when I want to have fun anyways. And then your regular buttons, your window switches are here and here. ESC off, front lift. So the front lift on this car is a lot quicker than your regular average Aventador. And then everything else on the interior, it's all Alcantara. So this car has white stuff, white stitching. See the SVJ logos on the seats here. And then on the top here. So I mean overall it's a pretty cool car. I haven't driven a regular Aventador SB yet, but SVJ I would still take an SB Roadster, regular one, over an SVJ. Just the front isn't so much my style. But the overall look of the car is, let me pop that switch off. So obviously Aventador, you have that off, and then it says SVJ on the center console there, or sorry, on the gauge cluster. So the door does feel slightly lighter than a regular Aventador, to my knowledge at least. And then so also one fun thing about Aventadors is that the Aventador key here is the same as any other Audi key, right? Let me zoom in here. So this key, so you'll realize there's a center button. You see, it doesn't necessarily do anything. So on a Huracan, this button here would open the trunk. But to open the trunk, you have to do it manually on a Aventador. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it is what it is. And I mean, overall look at the car is you can see it's fairly long compared to maybe a regular Aventador. Here, maybe not so distorted here. So if you didn't know this about the Aventador already, so the engine actually does not sit dead center of the car. So apparently from what I know, what I've heard is that because of the transmission, the way the transmission is seated, they had to move the engine over. So it's kind of like a fuck up, like an accident, you know, like, oh, okay, how do we fix this? So they didn't properly do it. So you see that the cross brace is actually sitting to the right of the motor, so the cross brace is going to be, the X brace is going to be dead center, but the motor is slightly offset to the left. Just fairly interesting, but Lamborghini things. So let me see if I can get to do a quick startup, and then you guys can kind of hear it a little bit. So I'm gonna do a quick startup, and then we're gonna take the car out for a quick drive. So yeah. So now, let's go for a quick spin in the car. So close the door, obviously, close the latch down. It's kind of ghetto, but it is what it is. Okay, so reverse gear. So if you've never driven an Aventador before, it's your parking brake. Reverse. So the M is for manual if you want to manually use the paddles. So it's gonna backup camera show up right there. And then to go into drive, you hit the right paddle, and then it'll indicate that it's in one. So that's your gear indicator. So right now it's in sport. Oh, I'm driving a Lamborghini one-handed. So this car MSRP was like 600,000+. So I'd rather buy a couple cars, but you know, it is what it is. Wow. So right now we're driving the car. So we're gonna do a couple pulls, but not gonna drive it too much. This car is loud and it's pretty fast, but I don't know, fast is a very relative term to me now, but obviously it's not the first Aventador I've driven, but it's definitely cool to be able to drive an SBJ. So yeah, we're gonna go now and bomb a tunnel. So I'm gonna put it into manual mode. So second gear right now, first gear. So that was up to about the top of third. And my cameraman's obviously very excited here.
Yeah, man.
So, let me see here. So regularly it's still pretty comfortable. Get that downshift, that snap, crackle, pop. So you guys kind of know what it looks like from the outside because obviously we did that part in the garage here. And so upcoming tunnel, it's kind of, well, it's like a bridge, it's like an underpass. So second gear, third gear. Well, that's awkward. Well, that was awkward. My wallet had fallen into the crack and moved my seat forward. But obviously you stay calm, even though you're driving a $600,000 car going about X fast. So, actually let me pop a U-turn. Okay, well I know not to put my wallet there now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So let's do that one more time. So you can see it'll turn blue when the active arrow is actually working. So you have to get up to a certain speed. So you see it turn blue, right? And then the gauge cluster, if you go into Corsa, it also turns red. So it'll kind of tell you what mode it's in. And just now we're in sport mode. Now we're in Corsa. So it just set off the alarm in that car because this thing's fucking crazy loud, dude. Like, I don't know, man. So we are in Mexico. If you guys didn't know, I moved to LA and we took we're in Mexico right now, so. Just hear that backfire. So, I mean, I don't know, it's pretty dope. It's quick, traction control was going off earlier, but that was in sport mode. Earlier I was in Corsa and nothing really happened, so I don't know what the deal was, but that is what it is. And
How?
so that is, so if you guys don't know me, I'm Cullen. I drive a Honda. And that's kind of my quick review on a Aventador SBJ. So I hope you guys had some fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it wasn't too much bullshit and there's some good sound clips and stuff in there. So maybe we'll get a chance to do it more, maybe not, I don't know. So if you guys liked it, like the video, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And if you guys didn't know, I'm in LA now, so catch you guys later.